Welcome to Astrology 101, and let's get started. We are light. We can just stop right there, and that would be it, but let me explain that a little further to you. We are this light. We are combinations of this multicolored light. Um, all the matter, everything around you is this light, and these different colors and shades of light blending into each other, and creating different characters and personalities and different types of matter around you. Everything from water, fire, earth, and air. It's all light. So let's start how the organic world begins. In this whole light spectrum that you are. So you need to have something to observe. Right now, you just have this light, and there's no um, boundaries, no definition. So this world that we live in is full of boundaries and definition, and meaning and boundaries. So and divisions, separations. You'll notice in this light here, it's just everything blends into one, starting from the yellow, and then the three primary colors, yellow, red, and blue, and then the combinations between yellow, red, and blue are yellow and red make orange, and yellow and blue make green, and then outside of the realm of both those, you're going to have ultraviolet on a high frequency, and you're going to have infrared on the lower frequencies and your dark purples there. And outside of this range here, this both range, you will not be, can't, you're unable to see that light. You're not able to look at it because it's outside of our optical range. So here we are. When the cell starts in the organic world, it starts off with a consciousness. And here's our consciousness right there, right? And that consciousness needs something to observe itself, to look at itself, So the consciousness has a like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that consciousness dot more towards the middle there, and right in that yellow zone, and just this little, you can notice this little green there, and that's our realm. That's the earth realm. That's where your heart would be, and this is the outer limits of that realm of observation that what you're looking at. Now, like with a cell, it starts off, a cell divides into two. So 2 is a very important number. I'll put it over here so you can see it. Everything in nature, in the organic world, is divided by 2 or multiplied by 2. So when the cell splits, it splits into 2. So let me go ahead and do that. Split this cell into 2, and you'll notice that when I did that, I made it with this curving line here. And this brings us to our next important element of astrology, and that's, the first one is light and the color of light, and the second one is this wave, the sine wave. This is the wave of light. A wave starts out and generates with a lot of force and moves up with a high forward momentum, and then it reaches an apex, and then it starts to lose energy and starts to go down to the 0 point. Okay, so if we were looking at this more of a numerological sense, this would be the 0 point, right? This in the middle, 0, and then this outer edge here, and that dot now becomes one because you have one cell. And then when the cell divides, it becomes two cells. Divides in half. It also becomes yin and yang. It also becomes day and night. It also becomes outside, inside. That becomes your daily life, your mental world, your inner world. That becomes male and female. So you have this, duality, and that's what this wave is. And we live in this world of duality and the wave, and waves. So let's draw a lot of waves, and what you'll do is when you do draw a lot, you'll see a blueprint of life and how life moves and how life kind of has this motion of going from the 0 point, which is the calm place, the place you want to be, to the perimeters of your observation, your perimeters of what you can see, of matter. So it goes here, starts there from the 0 point and raises up an amplification, and then comes down and into the east here. Then it sends the wave back, it comes down, whoops, let me make it a little better, it comes down in, back up to the 0 point, and then from the 0 point back up and back down. So now you have like the beginning of the organic world, which always has this realm of balance in order for it to grow evenly. So if something grows in one direction, it's going to grow the other side so it doesn't tip over, so it stays balanced. And this is all of creation, and this is your mind, and you're always going to have polarities, things growing out that way. You have day and night, left and right, male and female. So polarities. 2 is a very important number. The next number after 2, after we know this is the rhythm, the plan, and the blueprint, you have 3, which is very important because 3 represents a plan in action. It represents not completion or not anything solid yet, but in motion, nature in motion. And 3 is like in astrology or in any other Genesis type process, you have the generative, operative, and dissolution, or the cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So let's go ahead and make those right now. So I'm going to retrace the first one here. So we have first here, coming from the middle, consciousness 0 point, we have the cardinal. Wait, it just defines the circle. So now we have the realm. It's started, it's generated. Now we have the fixed point, which is right there, and it comes down and makes another wave, and it makes the balancing polarity to the other side. So, and that's one more, and we have the mutable, the changing, the third element, and that'll be right there like that. So you see we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3, but everything moves in 2. So when we made 3, we actually made 6 angles of light. If you notice each one of these petals, if you were to look at them a little more, you would see that each one is a different color, has different colors to it. We fix them up a little better for you. You can see that. Each one has different colors to it. So it has different characteristics, and that's what we want you to see here, is this is what makes the different characteristics of each one, right? Just to give it a little more symmetry there for you. So you have two sets of three. So we had 0, which is the matrix, and 1, which is the ego, and 2, which is the cell dividing, and right here, remember we had that, cell dividing, and now then we have starting the generative, operative, and the dissolution process, 3s. We also now can go into our next number, which would be, let's put it over here, 4, and right here, 4, and we're going to have 4 quadrants of 3, and here we go. I'll make the next one, and there's a wave, see, and then there's that wave, and then here's the next one, quadrant of 3. It automatically makes the other one, and then so here I'll do this for you just to show you. Here's how what's happening is this is spiraling up from the center and spiraling up, getting wider, coming out like that. So when you look at this kind of a design, it'll look something like this. It'll start, here we go, start the first one 1, and then it makes its polar opposite, and then it's going to come up and then make the second one, and then come down and then make its polar opposite. See that? And make this next one comes up and makes its polar opposite, and there was our 3, and then coming up, down, making its polar opposite, and then coming back up into, it's coming to the 0 zone, making its polar opposite, and then coming to the 0 zone, coming out, and then back. So you see how my finger is moving here, creating these opposites, and creating now from the 3, it will create the 4. So you just cut this into 4 slices, and you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So let's count it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hours in a day. 12 human body systems. 12 months in a year. And on. 12 is a very important number in this whole equation of things. You'll see that a lot in most human body and most organic nature. And we have here the generative, operative, mutable, and then generative, operative, mutable in each section, or cardinal, fixed, mutable, or dissolves into the next color. So let's go ahead and draw those in there. So we have the first one, fixed, and then immutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, position here, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And that would explain our 12 angles. And if you look at these angles, you'll see that each one has a different color characteristic, and that is the explanation of light and why there's different characteristics and the effects on you on those characteristics. Next video will show you about some more characteristics about these quadrants and how they're different and how they have different effects and how they create different realities for you mentally, physically, and spiritually.